One area of elasticity that students sometimes find difficult is doing calculations. And really there are two main types of calculation that you might be required to do. One is simply to calculate price elasticity demand, the other is to use it. If we look at the calculation, then our starting point of course is the formula, which is the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. So obviously in order to be able to do this we need to be able to calculate a percentage change. And to do that, probably the best way is to say, well, what's a percentage change that you intuitively know? Yeah. So most people I say, well, suppose price goes from 10 to 15. You say, well, what sort of percentage change is that? Most people will say that, well, that's a 50% change. And the reason for that is that it's changed by £5 from the original price of £10. So it's changed by 5 out of 10. It's changed, in other words, it's changed by a half. So to work out, which is of course 50%. So to work out a percentage change, all we have to do is to take the change, and we're going to sign that change, yeah? So if it goes up, there'll be a plus change. If it goes down, then there's going to be a minus change. And all we do is we're looking at it as a proportion of where it started. So we're going to say, what was it originally? So a change of 5 out of an original of 10, that's a 50% change. Yeah? Because it's changed by 5 out of 10, and then we multiply by 100 to show what it's out of. So we've got to be able to do percentage changes if we're going to be able to use elasticity. So let's take an example. Yeah, let's suppose that price rises from £20 to £25, and as a result, demand falls from 50 to 30 units. So, all we've got to do is we've got to calculate the percentage change in price and the percentage change in demand. The first thing that students tend to do is they tend to forget to look at the formula, and because the change in price comes first, they put that on the top, which is obviously not a good thing. So, if we look at the percentage change in price, well, it's changed by 5, so the change in, and it's gone up. So the change in price is plus 5 from an original of 20 times 100 is plus 25%. What's the change in demand? It's gone down by 20 units from an original of 50 times that by 100%. That gives you minus, which simply in this case means that demand has gone down, 40%. If we then divide one by the other, then we get that price elasticity demand is minus 1.6. And as we said before, that minus 1.6 simply means that demand changes by 1.6 times as much as price. In this case, because it's greater than 1, demand is price elastic. And the minus sign simply means that, as ever with most price elasticity demand, there is a negative correlation, so when price goes up, demand goes down. When price goes down, demand goes up. If we look at another example, if we look at one, say, that's going to come out to be price inelastic. Let's suppose that let's suppose that price in this case rises from 10 to £15, and as a result, demand falls from 200 to 190 units per week. So again, all we've got to do is work out percentage change. So we say, okay, what's the percentage change in price? We say, what is the change? The change is plus £5. The original is £10 times 100. Price has gone up by 50%. look at demand, the change, minus 10, demand has gone down by 10 units. The original was 200, times 100, that gives you minus 5%. So all we now need to do is to divide them, and we get minus 0.1. Demand is changing only by 0.1 times as much as the change in price. So a 50% change in price leads to a 5% change in demand, a 20% change in price would lead to a 2% change in demand, and in the opposite direction. So they are negatively correlated. Okay, so that's the thing that you're most often required to work out, yeah? And sometimes they'll ask you to use price elasticity demand. So they'll tell you price elasticity demand is minus 2. They'll tell you that the original price was £10. They'll tell you that the original quantity was 50 units. And then they'll say there is a new price of £9. And what they might say is, what is the new quantity going to be? And how much revenue will the firm get? Let's start with the new quantity. So what will the new quantity be? We've got to use that, and we've got to use the percent. We've got to use the change in price. Yeah. So firstly, we've got to say what is the percentage change in price. So we use our formula. The change is minus 1. Price gone down by £1. The original was £10. So therefore the change in price is minus 10%. Price has gone down by 10%. So how much is demand going to go up by? For that we need price elasticity demand. If price elasticity demand is minus 2, that means, from before, demand changes by twice as much as price changes, and it goes in the opposite direction. There is a negative correlation. So what that means then is if price has gone down by 10%, demand is going to change by 20% in the opposite direction. A fall in price leads to an increase in demand. Yeah, minus times minus gives a plus mathematically. Yeah, but all we need to say is it means the opposite direction. So demand has gone up by 20%. So finally all we've got to do is to find the new quantity demanded. It was 50, and what we've got to do is to add on 20%. So what we know is to do that, we say, well, what's 1% of 50 is 0.5, divide by 100 effectively. So 20% of 50 is therefore 10. So therefore our new quantity is 50 plus 10, 60 units. And what that means is, as we might expect, revenue has gone up, because originally we had 50 units at £10, £500. Now we have 60 units at £9, which is £540. And that confirms what we said earlier, which is that when price goes down, demand rises more than proportionally, and therefore the firm's revenue will go up. And those are the key calculations that they can ask you to do. That's the most complicated one, yeah, but the earlier one is the most common.